When we had arrived at Abreau, Donovan had been there for a couple hours before us, and it was good to have Donovan back because he was someone to talk to in the back of the line. He was always talking and keeping the morale up. He was another link that we needed, especially, and he's just a great guy to have around whenever you're kind of feeling down or when you just need someone to talk to. He's always there to talk to you. He's a great guy.
Abreau is very different because that night we didn't have to cook supper because we went up to the Mexican pavilion and they cooked tacos for us.
And we went down the Jeep trail. Pretty hot then. Jeep trail was open and in a ditch and sun was right on us. I remember Doug said something about if it started raining we had to get out there because the water could flood over us really quickly.
Pretty steep, so we all were having trouble going up that hill.
And with having the sun beat down on you, it kind of degrades your morale because you feel like you're even more grudgy than you really are. It makes the hike a little bit harder, but seeing the sights make you happier.
We saw lovers sleep, which is from what I heard it was back in the day where lovers would just sleep over because they couldn't be together.
We looked up and we could see people on top of the Lover's Leap. The Stockade was an area that Wade Phillips had built for his son and some of the other boys that were in the area so they could play there.
It apparently was some sort of playhouse for a relative of Wade Phillips, where they would play and do all their sorts of kid things.
There was no staff there, but it was still pretty neat just being able to climb up. And
It started raining kind of heavily, almost hailing. Felt like pretty big drops.
The trip from the Stockade to Stockade Ridge was harder than what we had expected, and to make it even worse, it had started raining and everybody got grumpy from the rain. We wanted to get moving and others were stopping and we were trying to figure things out, and it had gotten rough and we set up camp and we did the best we could, and we got camp set up and then on a ridge on the side of the hill that was going down.
The very top campsite at Stockade Ridge had this fantastic view of the Tooth of Time right up that way.
That we moved up to later on that night before bedtime. That was probably one of our better decisions.
and had a really good view of the Tooth of Time.
And Dave said that was one of the best nights of sleeping that he had, seeing the Tooth of Time up there.
Got up, saw the Tooth of Time on the ridge. Really nice. I couldn't wait to get to it.
The hike to Tooth of Time it started easy, but once we got to the base of it, it started getting really hard because we had to go up even more rocks and boulders that were even taller than we had to do to get over Phillips. And me being the navigator, I got lost a couple times because the path sort of fizzled out, or you couldn't tell which way it went.
When we were hiking to get up to the base of Tooth of Time, it was a really tough hike. It was basically bouldering to get to some places, and at one part it looked like there was a path going one way and one going the other way. So Kenneth ended up going one way and up going the other way to explore, and their way ended up basically being 90 degrees.
But we eventually found the trail and climbed up this big, steep, rocky path.
We finally got up to the little area where we could set down our packs after the long hike, and it was harder and the steep rocks didn't help anything. Your knees would hurt. You had to learn to suck it up and you couldn't really use your trekking poles because you were basically climbing your way up. Yeah.
The view from the top of the 10th time, you can pretty much see 360 all around. Nice view of Philmont. Pretty much almost see everything.
The view from the Tooth of Time was tremendous. There was the fort over there. You could see Baldy off over there. There were several geo markers on top. You could see Basecamp over there. You can see Cimarron over there. And just basically all of Philmont you could see.
The view was just amazing. Being able to look all around, seeing everything, it was worth it.
You could sit down and relax a little bit, and made my hands sweaty because I kind of have a little bit of a fear of a drop off. The fall is fun. It's just when you hit the ground and your body snaps in half and you kind of die. It's kind of the whole dying part.
It was an amazing view because you could see almost everything.
The view was amazing. You could see the road, and you could see the Stockade, and you could see the little buses going out, and you're like, hey look, new guys, yay.
Not a whole lot of aphids up here. Yeah. Yeah. Trace mine jumping over there. So right, maybe.
We're doing south side. So we hiked up south side and then we hiked up south side and then hiked back down and back down. Can you see Philmont? Pretty sure Philmont is like somewhere over that way.
Trail of Tears is basically its name because you see Basecamp, and then you see Basecamp, and you take another switchback and you see Basecamp, and then you take an even longer switchback and you see Basecamp, and you take the fifth switchback and you're crying because you can see Basecamp and you can't reach Basecamp because you got to go on another switchback.
When you see Basecamp right there, but you're never getting any closer to it. So 1 hour, still no closer. 2 hours, still the same distance. 3 hours, still the same distance, etc., etc.
It was kind of like torture, just saying it.
It really was tearful because it felt like we were right there, but then went one switch back, went back the other way, but didn't feel like we were any closer at all. We saw the rain off in the distance, but we didn't really get it. No.
And you could look out to the side and you could see walls of rain off to the side.
And then we eventually got down like right to where the border of Basecamp was. We were all very happy because we had just made it back.
When we finally got back to base camp and we went under a sign saying you made it, we were all just so happy.
It felt like a good, cool breath of air because you made it.
I felt overjoyed because I'd finally made it, and I could finally drop this heavy pack and stop carrying it.
Felt pretty good to finally be done. You know, thinking only a few days earlier we were just starting, and then it felt pretty good. We completed it.
For how much we trained, we didn't train enough. It takes a lot of training for Philmont.
It was an amazing trip, and I'd go back.
I would go back to Philmont.
If I get the chance, I think I would go to Philmont again.
I will go again next time if it's available.
I probably won't go back to Philmont on my own, but of course if I have a son or something that wants to go to Philmont, I'll go with him.